Hey guys, so today I wanted to show you how to find the perfect ALC settings for you. I know it can be super overwhelming when you're first starting Apex or first starting to use ALCs that like there's so much control over everything and like you don't know, what's best for you. I'm someone who like goes in the firing range and I'll sit there for like 3 hours adjusting all my ALC settings, trying to figure out like what's best for me. But I think I finally figured out like a good way to find ALC settings. And I'll show you guys what I play on right now. I'll also show you my button layout because it's not the default one. It's actually the same button layout that, if you guys know who Princess is, she's an Apex streamer and I fucking love her. It's the same button layout she uses. So basically it is customized and my jump is on right stick, my crouch is on left stick. And then to toggle fire, it's X. And it feels weird. I've played on different settings before. For a while, I was playing on the same settings as this guy I watch. His name's Tallest. He's like an Xbox player. And his crouch was on L1, and it made it really easy to crouch spam. And like I really liked those settings. And like your tactical was on X, but I don't do that anymore. So I really like it because you can move around really quickly. And like say you're climbing up something, your jump is on right stick, so like you can just jump up and like look. It's like so much more mobile, I feel like. I really like it. So I would highly recommend getting used to these settings, and then you can also crouch spam easier, with the left stick. And so that's my button layout. Okay, so these are my current settings, all right? So my dead zone is at 0. I highly recommend if you have get as low of a dead zone as you can, because that shit is game changing. Like it just responds to every little thing. It's amazing. The outer threshold 1%, that basically is like how far you have to move your stick before any extra yaw is applied, which I'll go over in a minute. The response curve, this shit pisses me off. Like, it's so hard to find a good response curve. Okay, pretty much this whole season, I played on a 9 response curve. And basically, it just feels way more sticky. It's like, you move your thumb and like, it's good. It's great. Many people play on like 10 response curve or even like 11. See, I can't even hit my fucking shots. It's just more sticky. So like I would say if you're newer to Apex, start with like a 9 or a 10 or something. I've seen people play up to like 12. But I play on 5, which is considered half linear, I guess. And linear is 0. So this is a 0. That is like direct input. And it's very twitchy. And it's like, whoa. It's like a lot of like the crazy movement console players, they all play on freaking linear, and like I played on it for a long time and it's good. You can get used to it. It's good. I just, for my playstyle and my mental health, I need to play on like a 5. So I play on 5. Definitely recommend it. It's like halfway between classic response curve and linear. Okay, I will go over how to figure out the best per optic settings because this shit was also hard, okay? My yaw speed, so basically your yaw speed is your horizontal movement, so like left to right. Your pitch speed is up and down. Your turning extra yaw is like when you are turning, so this is like my yaw speed, right? When I push my stick all the way, it goes faster. So mine's at 220, which I really like it. I feel like it's the perfect amount of extra yaw. It has like that quick movement and yeah. So people don't put any of this shit on, but I like it a lot. It makes me feel like a lot more easy to like snap around and, whip around and like shoot someone behind you or whatever. So I really like that. My ADS speed is 170. My ADS yaw speed, sorry. And my ADS pitch speed is 150, which I highly recommend. And of course, I'll go over like how to figure out which ones are best for you. Because I feel like I'm someone who, I don't like to push my thumb super far. I kind of have a more like steady thumb, and like when I aim, I don't like move it a shit ton, you know what I mean? So I like where my settings are. Okay. And ADS turning extra yaw, ADS turning extra pitch. This is like the same thing. So when you're ADSing, This is like your ADS speed. When you push it all the way, it goes. You can see it like jumps a little bit. It goes faster. You see that? So that's basically what that is. That's like if you want to like switch to a different target or whatever. So I think that helps a lot. Okay, so those are my settings. Give them a try if you want. Another thing I should add is I have like a joystick extender that I freaking cannot play without anymore. I just started using it like a month ago. And I hit Diamond for the first time with Watson this season, who is also my main. I love her so much. She's goated. She ain't weak. And yeah, so those are my goated ass settings, and I would highly recommend getting a joystick extender because you have a little bit more control over your aim and stuff, which maybe I'll put like a picture or something of like the one that I have. It's just like, my voice keeps cracking. Jesus, take the wheel. And so yeah, I would highly recommend getting a joystick extender. It has helped me a lot. I feel like I have a lot more control over, you know, my joysticks and stuff. But yeah, and I should mention, like, you might notice that I have a little bit of stick drift, which is because my dead zone is at 0. And also the higher your response curve is, you can have a smaller dead zone because it won't really have any drift. I hope this makes sense. And so, yeah, like I kind of have drift. Like if I'm just chilling, you can see my stick kind of moves a little bit. Kind of moves like up or like, it just drifts. And a lot of people in settings videos will say, oh, just adjust your dead zone until there's 0 stick drift. I don't mind stick drift because it gives me that extra responsiveness. Like I need that in my life. You know what I mean? Sometimes I turn on my dead zone and it's like, I'll try to like aim like I normally do. And it just don't hit right. It just don't hit right. And so I say if there's a little bit of stick drift, you can live with it. If it's a lot, definitely raise your dead zone until it's like just a little bit, enough to where you can control it, you know? So anyways, okay, let's go over how to find the perfect settings. I would recommend starting with like a 3% dead zone, okay? Because I play on PS5 and the PS5 controllers have like hardly any drift. I freaking love it. I played on PS4 and my dead zone had to be at like a 3. So I would recommend starting on like a 3% dead zone, or like as low as you can get the dead zone to where there's just a little bit of drift. Not too much though. Like there shouldn't be enough drift to where it's affecting your aim, especially at range. Like that's when it kind of messes with you. Out of threshold, I would honestly just keep this at 0. I've seen people literally put it all the way up, and this, you can kind of see like that orange ring. It basically is just how far you have to move your stick. So I guess if you have a higher dead zone, you can adjust your outer threshold and it'll make it a little more responsive and stuff like that. Response curve. Okay, so this is the default. Default is 10, okay? I've seen Predators, Apex Predators play on 10 dead zone. I can't do it. I can't do it. You gotta find a good one for yourself. So I would try like 9 or 5. If you're very experienced with shooter games, like you can go down to like 1 to 0. Like these are very linear, okay? So anyways, I think 5 is just the perfect balance. So once you have your response curve and dead zone and everything all set, the next thing is yaw speed. This is like so important because this is basically your hip fire. So what I do is I'll grab some of my favorite guns and I will practice hip firing like close range and see like what, if I overshoot it, if I over aim, like just try to like be consistent with it. What feels natural? I think that's the biggest thing, is like if it feels natural, that is like the best for you, right? So like if I'm overshooting it, if you're noticing that like your aim is going too far, like say I'm going like crazy, you're gonna want to like lower your sensitivity, your yaw, okay? So you can like lower it down. Then it's like, oh, it's so much more stable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then pitch speed. I think one of the best ways I've found pitch speed, which hip firing is so important in Apex. And so, you know, every gun has a recoil pattern, like the R99, it looks like that, right? A lot of people don't understand that when you hip fire, it has the same recoil pattern. You just can't tell because the bullets fucking spray everywhere, right? So you pull down in like the same pattern that you would when you're ADSing. So many people don't realize that. So to figure out a good pitch speed, I guess come over here and I practice hip firing. Okay? And it's like, I just want it to feel natural. If I notice that I'm pulling down too far, you might have too high of a pitch speed. So say that I'm like hip firing on this guy and my aim is going like that when I'm hip firing. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta like lower the pitch speed. Okay. All right, so that's kind of how I find my pitch speed. And you really just have to mess around with it. Figure out like what is best for you. And as far as the extra yaw and pitch, like this stuff isn't 100% necessary. Like you don't really need it. You can still move around and like it's still good, right? It's mostly just for if you want to be able to like flick around really quick, but not everybody wants that. Not everybody likes that. So I like it. If you can get used to it, I think it's really great. If not, then who gives a fuck? Extra pitch, this one doesn't matter too much. I guess like put it at 100. I feel like that's a good amount, you know, like when you're looking and stuff. So, all right. Next. Okay, and these, they don't matter that much. Like I've used them in the past. You know, like if you're turning extra yaw feels like it's messing up your hip fire, or like you're pushing your stick all the way to the edge and it's like too fast, you can change your ramp up time, and it basically just changes like how long it takes for the extra yaw to kick in. And so it'll be like a smoother transition. It won't just be like boom, boom, you know, it'll be like smoother. But I feel like you can just get used to not having that. Most people don't play with it, some people do. But yeah. Same thing with the ramp up delay. It's like how long your stick has to be put all the way to the edge before any of the extra yaw is applied, okay? So I would just recommend turning those off. If you want to experiment with them, go ahead. ADS yaw speed. This shit is important, okay? So basically, let's see, what's a gun I want to use? I love the R99. I feel like it's a good example because this gun has fucking hard recoil, I feel like. So, ADS yaw speed basically helps the horizontal recoil. So like, let's use the flatline for an example. Okay. So say I take the flatline, which another great gun. This is the default yaw speed, right? And it feels weird. Like when I'm ADSing, I feel like it feels more slow and sticky, I guess. And like, I like it fast so I can track up close better. And the flatline has a lot of horizontal recoil. And so I feel like if you have a higher horizontal ADS speed, it'll help that a little bit. I've noticed that, like with the R99 and stuff. Like, let's try the R99. I always try to practice hitting these bad boys. Oh yeah, it just feels weird, like trying to move the stick, it just feels strange, like too slow. I always try to hit these for 100. These are with the R99. That's like how I practice my recoil control. I think 220 is like the highest. It just feels a little bit strange, you know? And so I like to just take like the R99 and adjust the yaw speed until it just feels smooth. It feels right. You got to practice at multiple ranges. I usually like go down the line. I'll like shoot the far one and this one and that one, you know. It really is just all about experimenting each little setting to find the best one for you. Okay. And so it's pretty much the same thing with the pitch speed. Like, all I really care about with the ADS pitch and yaw is the recoil, you know? After that, you can add like extra yaw and stuff if you want to, for it to be like a little bit faster. But yeah, like if I have good recoil control, I'm chilling. And so like, say I change the ADS pitch speed to like 50, I'm gonna have to pull the stick down a lot farther to get some good recoil control. Like it feels so weird right now. See, like it kind of just goes up. So if you have that higher, you won't have to pull the stick down as far. I forgot mine was at. Like 130 or something. I don't even know. Okay. And so yeah, mine is at, fuck, I don't remember. It was at like 140. I'm gonna change all my settings back after this video, but see, like you don't, it's so nice. You just, I feel like a big part of aiming in this game and the ADSing and the recoil patterns is just muscle memory. Like your thumb will get used to pulling down to a certain length. You know what I mean? But if you're someone who like pulls down super far when you like shoot your gun, you're gonna want to have a slower pitch speed because that is going to, if you have it too high, you're just gonna go like this. You're just gonna be like, bruh. Okay. All right. ADS turning extra out, ADS turning extra pitch. Again, not really necessary. It's mostly just if you want to like snap to a target while ADSing. I like to do that. Say I'm like right here shooting someone and there's someone like over here. I will like snap to them, you know what I mean? You can snap to them a little quicker than if you didn't have it. Okay, and that is that. The next thing I want to go over is the per optic settings. Okay, this shit. Okay, so what I do, again, it's all about recoil for me. Like if you have good recoil control and good tracking, like you're golden. You're golden. All right, so my iron sights are just at 1. I really like this for all the guns. I think 1 is great. My 2 times, I think it's at 1.8. And something about the higher optics, like the 3 times and the 4 times, they're harder to control. Okay, so what I do is I put a higher sensitivity on those because the higher the sensitivity, the more responsive it is to your stick, and it's easier to control the recoil. Okay, so like the way that I would kind of test like the best settings for me in terms of the per optic settings is I would take like the 4 times and the 3 times and I would come all the way up here, climb up this shit. Yep, this is my firing range. Warm-ups. And then I would just sit here with Loba's ult right here and literally just keep taking ammo. And I would just try to control my recoil as best as I could. And I would keep, okay, for example, sorry, let me just show you. I'm bad at explaining things. Say I have it on the default, 1.2. Like, it's gonna be really hard and stiff. Like, it's harder for me to hit stuff. And it has the same recoil pattern as it does with the, you know, 1-time sight. It's just when you have a higher sensitivity, you don't have to move your thumb as much. Okay. Oh, fuck. What was it even at? I don't even know. And then, like, here's my 2 times. I'll try my best. 4 times. The 4 times is honestly the hardest out of all the assault rifle optics. You know, like if I had it down here, it would be really hard to hit everything. Like, see how high it goes? Like, it's kicking so much, and I feel like I have to move my thumb so much. If you have a higher sensitivity for that per optic setting, it'll be way easier. You don't have, it's like I try to make it feel as close to the 1 times as I can, so that my thumb has to move the exact same amount as it does on the 1 times. I hope that makes sense. And like I'm not goated at this game. I've just played it a lot. And like, this is kind of what I do to figure out my sensitivities. Okay? And so yeah, you kind of just experiment around. Like with the 2 times, I would just have them all on default and keep boosting it up until it feels good. And mine's at 1.8 and it feels good, bro. shit, maybe it's a little too high. Let me see. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Let me see. Maybe it should be to 1.4. I don't know. But like I said, you just got to experiment, test them out, use all kinds of settings and options. And honestly, it all just comes down to practice. Like, there's cheaters in this game. Don't be that bitch. Don't use a strike pack. You don't need it. Like, it's not fulfilling if you're cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get your aim down and your recoil patterns down, that's where it gets fun. And, like, your aim just starts to feel great. I've been having so much fun with this game. Like, in season, like, 5 and 6, like, I barely played because I was so frustrated with this fucking game. But, you know, once you learn how to aim better and your movement and positioning and all that, it gets way funner when you're getting kills, and it just feels so satisfying and fun. So, I hope this helped you guys. I don't know if there's anything else I want to go over. Oh yeah, one other thing is turn off your little, what is it, like, crosshair damage feedback. So if you have this thing on, see those little, like, that little X icon in the middle? It just blocks your view. Turn that shit off. You don't need her, okay? Oh yeah, also, change this, your interact prompt, to compact. So if it's on default, look how big that shit is. That's in the way. There could be a bitch right there on that rock, and I would have no fucking idea. So change it to compact. It takes a minute to get used to, but it's way better. Like, see how small that is? Oh yeah, and it's even like a little bit see-through. You know what I'm saying? So, would recommend. Try out my settings, and hopefully you guys can find some goated ass motherfucking settings for yourself. Oh yeah, and change your field of view to 110. 110's the best. Okay? I know a lot of people play on 4.4 classic for their like default type settings or whatever. Don't do that. Be a man. Learn to use ALCs. Okay, now I'm scared of this. I'm going back to 8. Alright. I think that's about it. I hope this all made sense. Hopefully it helped people. Someone, maybe like one person. Okay, and I guess I'll promote my Twitch right now. I stream on Twitch sometimes at Tyson Hamblin. Tyson Hamblin. It's probably in my like description or something. I'm trying to stream more. The only thing is like my setup sucks ass, and so I'm trying to like wait till I have like a room to stream in where all my stuff's set up and I can just stream whenever the fuck I want. So anyways, hope this video helps somebody. I hope I explained everything decently. I'm really bad at like teaching and stuff. So hopefully it all made sense. And if not, I apologize. Anyways, don't blame your failures on me. It's your fault. Okay, I love you. Bye.